So back with Bigfoot. Thought about some subject matter that I wanted to bring up. Considering moving out to eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, the ideal about buying a plot of land cheap and moving an RV on it sounds like a good ideal, and it can work out if you put a little effort into it. I did that. One thing that I could tell you, if you have a lot of medical problems, something you might want to consider if we're all getting older. And old age doesn't escape any of us. Matter of fact, I guess it's a privilege to grow old. Not everybody can or does. So that's one thing to consider. If you're driving 45 minutes to an hour to go see a doctor and you've got to go quite a bit, that's something you got to think about. My father, he's passed away. I consider a young 65, and my mama, she's pushing 70, and she lives out in the country a little bit. They about an hour away from town, so she's got to drive to see a doctor all the time. So she stays with my brother. So my brother's there to take care of her. Anything that happens, we're all there for her. I know she's starting to fall a lot as her age progresses, and when she falls now, it's serious. So um, you think of life a little bit different when you start getting up in your 50s. You start realizing mentally you might be 21, but physically your body does what it wants to do. It'll just shut off on you, and you have no control of it whatsoever. When you're younger, you won't understand that until you get older. You just don't understand it. You know it, you hear it, you start to live it when you hit your 50s. So I can imagine going in my 60s and 70s. I can starting to see what's happening before. When I was younger, older people didn't bother me, but they were just in my way. Never really paid too much attention to it. Realizing one day I hope to get there, but you wake up one day and you're almost there. This time just absolutely flies. So, but staying on the subject of living out here with it, you can get some home health nurses to come see you. I know they do have some traveling ones that come around occasionally. I don't know how the schedule's set up. I know that they do see my mom, so she's out in the sticks pretty much. So I know they do it. They also bring her meals, but I know they're driving to get to them. So I don't know the exact schedule for something like that. As far as assisted living, rest homes, you're gonna have to move to one of the cities out in the country. There's just nothing there. So that's something to also think about. And if you end up going to a rest home or something, that's hopefully no one goes that route, but sometimes it's necessary. My brother and his wife, my sister-in-law, is going through that right now with her mom. So it's a pretty tough thing. But she had to actually move into a rest home because living out in the country, the home health nurse, they can only do so much. So it's it's pretty wild. So the house that I have now is 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's got a small car garage, and it's absolutely too big for me and my wife. The bigger the house, the older you get also, and the more you've got to take care of. You got to upkeep. Upkeep is constant. Um, 5 bedroom house, 2 bathroom, probably in any city is worth quite a bit of money. Out in the country, not so much. So I'm too old to move, really. I mean, I could do it, but I start thinking about things I can't do, a mortgage and all that. Just not going to do it. So I'm gonna stay where I'm at, I guess. Uh, so we got house needs a roof and some floor work. I think I'll put a tin roof on it, and maybe that'll last me the rest of my lifetime. So one more roof job and a floor job. Hopefully, we'll do a high quality job on it, and I'll be done. And that's that. But again, it's a 5 bedroom house. I just don't need it, really. But I'm here. I own it. I'm done. So that's something you got to think about, though. If you're living out in the country in the sticks, and we're all gonna need the health care at some point. Every single one of us. All the baby boomers are now seniors. The Gen X, they're working on it, or some of us are seniors actually. So yeah, that's something that you really got to consider. Um, I think what I'm going to start doing is making the house to where it's wheelchair accessible, where you can use a walker, and getting it ready. That's something that when you're younger, you just don't even think about or care to think about. You know, walking through Walmart, you know, you'll see people hanging over their baskets using them as walkers. You'll see those little ride carts, or most of the time too, you'll see overweight people that are young that are riding those little carts around. I just never understood why somebody let themselves go to that point. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you just absolutely do not care about yourself or your body. I know now there are medical conditions, some people can't help it, but they have drugs today that'll just knock the weight. So that's something you might want to consider. Today is going to be 87 degrees. And when I made my video yesterday, it was 65. So the weather swings in eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas are just absolutely insane. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it snowed 2 days later. I really wouldn't. It's done that before. You don't know. Everything will bud, all the flowers will come out, and the next day we'll have a freeze and everything will kill everything. And when it freezes out here too, those pipes, you know, they'll break. You'll bust your pipes. They have to be well insulated, and even that sometimes it doesn't matter that wind chill come through. But if you're from the northern states, you understand that. If you're coming from California, not so much. So that's another thing. You know, I'm from California. Moving out here is a little bit of a culture shock. You know, comes to things like that, things that you took for granted. California has beautiful weather. That's about all I can say about that. There's some beautiful scenery out there, sure, but it's not worth it. Um, I do prefer the weather out here, but I'll put up with what I have to out here just to get away from the chaos out there. So, you know, the younger people, they don't really consider, they don't really take in consideration too much about the older people and that they're headed that way, because it's just something that you're not mentally. When you're younger, you don't think you're going to be there. I guess you feel like you're invincible. I did, um, but when I hit my 50s and then my body things just stopped working, and then it's kind of a wake up call. And like I said, mentally I'm 21, physically I'm 60. So that's something you got to consider if you have medical conditions, is the drive that you're going to be doing, the running around town, medications. Some of them you can actually get in the mail nowadays, but like if something's a controlled substance, you'll actually have to go to the pharmacy for those. Um, so I thought I'd bring that up. So I think what I'm trying to say is something that people don't think about is get prepared for old age. It's coming. Um, yeah, it's coming quick. Actually, you'll wake up one day and you're just there. You don't know what happened. My kids have all moved out, so I just got this big old house. It's just a ranch style house, but you know, 5 bedrooms. Me and my wife, 2 dogs, 2 Chihuahuas at that. Well, they're mutts, mongrels. I don't even know what they are. Chihuahua dash something my brother gave me. But yeah, like I said, one more roof job, one more floor job. It'll probably get me out of my lifetime. You know, we did consider kicking around selling it, but it belonged to my dad. I don't have the heart to get rid of it. And I really, if I move somewhere, there's no way I could get. I mean, the house out here is probably worth 100,000. You take that house in California, it's probably worth closer to 1 million. But I can't replace it. So even though it's a little too big for me, I'll just deal with it. Um, I don't mind it really. I'll just do what I can. But I do think about when I'm getting older, because even the bathrooms, you got to think about that too, because the bathrooms are bathtub dash showers. And I noticed my mom, you know, she's got to have a walkthrough. She can't step over the bathtub to get in and out of showers. My mother-in-law, when she come down to visit, and she the same way, she stepped over the bathtub on her way out. She tripped and fell, and that got me thinking. You know, I'm not too far away from that. Your body, like I said, just does what it wants to do. You know, that little problem with my left arm, my hips, my joints. Every time the weather changes, I'm starting to get that arthritis in, and it's a wake-up call for you. So, the purpose of the video, I guess, is keep in consideration if you're going to move out in the country where you're headed later on. If you're young, make a go out of it. And when you start getting older, there's not a lot of help for you out here. You'll have to move in closer to the city for that, for that kind of personal help. So it's something I thought I'd run past you. I didn't want it to be too depressing of a video, but we're all headed there. We really are. It's just it slowly creeps up on you. Every day you wake up, you're a day older. I thought I was working at a job, and there was a guy there, the steel mill that I worked at, actually. My first day, I was talking to some of the guys there, and one of the guys working there, I said, "How long have you been here?" "I've been here 12 years. I was like, "Wow, that's a long time." After my 12th year anniversary of being there, I thought about that conversation I had with him, and 12 years is nothing. It went by in the blink of an eye. So, like I said, we're all headed there. Not everyone's granted the luxury of becoming old. But also, too, if you're a single person and you're out in the woods, there's no one to check on you. And, you were to pass away, how long are you going to be sitting there before someone finds you? That's something you got to think about, too. When you get older, too, your friends that you had, if you had friends, your family members, they're all dying off. Next thing you know, you're the circle of life, basically. You're in that chair. You start moving up to the grandparent stage, which none of my kids they're old enough to have kids. None of them have had any. So I'm not a grandfather yet, even though I could have been probably 5 or 10 years by now. So when you start getting into that category, there's not a lot of family left around. There's just really not. You get your siblings and, your grandparents. My grandparents have all passed away on both sides. Comes a little lonely when it comes to family gatherings. So right now my siblings are all alive and well, and that's a good thing. And I hang out with them. So it's just the way it is, I guess. But it's something to think about. You got to start taking care of yourself. So moving out in the country may not be for you if you're getting up there in years. I know a lot of people talk about moving to the country and retiring, but how long are you going to retire, sit in the house, and then you're needing assistance? The nearest doctor's an hour away. And even in the small towns, these little clinics, they're more of a patch you up with a Band-Aid and send you to the hospital if it's something serious. They're not really capable or have the capabilities of doing something serious. So you're going to have a heart attack or something, you hope you make it. Time the ambulance gets to you and picks you up and takes you, a couple hours. You got to think about that. I will say, I believe it's a healthier way of life, though. The air is cleaner, obviously. It's beautiful. You can sit back and you can enjoy the scenery. So, yeah, I thought I'll just leave this video here. I'll make some more content tomorrow. I'm going to post a video every day. So if you would subscribe to me, I'd appreciate it. I'll make it more interesting. This one was kind of a little on the depressive side, I would think. But anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.